I'm Timmy.
I'm Nathan. And I'm
This
Nathan.
is this is three old tech dudes minus a guy. It is, but you're going to see this here on Tuesday coming up, just in time to be a few days ahead of ARRL's yearly field day contest or outreach.
I'm
Or
going to
question
call
mark.
I think officially it's a contest. But it's also an outreach. But or is most of us just like to sit around and eat food and just rag chew with friends or just right there and joke about equipment or build stuff. Like I like to build things, so
Sure,
I'll
sure.
sit around and do that. And like last year, we hooked up a bunch of radios. John was sitting next to us in that other little tent thingy canopy and running a couple things. And yeah, so we have fun. I mean, it's just one of those things. You should have fun. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
Right. So some people might be asking, well, what is field day? What is that even? So field
Yeah,
day is a event each summer. It's always the fourth full weekend in June, and it has been for years and years, 50, 60 years, 70 years
oh yeah,
probably.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's an event that encourages people to get on the air, and it is also considered a way to reach the community. It's a contest in the sense that you do keep track of your contacts and you keep score of points, but it
yes,
really varies on how you kind of do your event. And the ARRL's stance on that has always basically been this line right here that we see: field day is officially an operating event, not a contest. The
yeah,
purpose remains today as it did in the beginning, to demonstrate the communications ability of the amateur radio community in simulated emergency situations. So, just kind of to finish up on what that means in the sense of what field day is it's usually it's got a lot of points that you can gain for being run on emergency power. You get more points for that. You get more points for setting it up in a public location to bring attention to the event.
yeah,
Um, but it still begs the question, and it's kind of something we think about a lot because Nathan and I, and even Justin at this point, really have been in ham radio for a long time. Overall, we've seen a lot of different
yeah.
forms of field day. The early ones I went to in my
Mhm.
ham radio career, is that the right word? Were very contest like. It was
Yeah,
get the points, keep guys on the radio, so on
yeah,
and so forth.
yeah. And there's a lot of that, and I get that if you're a group of people who are intentionally trying to do that, like that's your goal as a group is to get as many points as possible, and you see that with like I can't remember what was it like what's the call sign that one like NIN in something I can't.
Don't
But
know.
they're like 22 alpha or something like that. So they literally have like 22 stations going at one time. I'm like, we usually are like three.
Yeah. So you have designators as the exchange. Those of you who are used to operating in other ham radio contests, and so your exchange would be if you're in Indiana, such as us, and you're
Yep.
a club station, you're a Type A field day station. There's a whole packet of rules you can get over on arrl.org, and I will put that in the video below if you want to grab that before this weekend and set up at home, because you can do that. But
Yep.
so A is like a club station. There's some other designations, and it's the number of
Yep.
transmitters you're running for the event,
Yep.
plus your designation, plus your ARRL section. So
Yep.
not
Like three
necessarily just
alpha Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
So
like
we'll
you said there,
probably
Nathan.
be,
So
yeah. Odds are we'll probably be three alpha Indiana. That's kind of typical because we're able to sort of kind of keep that many going pretty well anyway. So yeah,
absolutely.
we have three stations. So you can have so if you have three most of the time, but at one point you have five, you're still three.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of have to
Uh,
set that up when you're
yeah,
going, and it kind of, as far as the scoring goes for the non-contest contest, because
yeah,
everybody turns in their scores and they're printed
yeah.
in the December QST each year later in the
Or
year.
However, they disseminate that
Digital
now.
QST on their website now.
I don't know.
Um,
I'm old. You wouldn't know it, but I am. And I still have actually, I think this might be their last. I don't know if it's the last one. I still have. Is it January 2024?
that's the last one I got too.
Yeah, I think that's the last one ever printed.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me that's sad because I've had these since the very early 90s, like 91.
Sure.
And I kind of like they're for me they're fun to look through. I kind of miss that, but yeah, it's a whole other thing. But in the QST, they always did have like the list of by state, by section. I think it was. I can't remember how they actually broke it down, but they told you like how many points and whatnot, and where you fell in the points list and all this kind of stuff. And there's usually like one or two clubs or one or two groups out there. They're like an order of magnitude above everyone else. And you're like, okay,
Oh, absolutely.
how did you do that and not go insane? But the trick is do everything you physically can all the time, and that's
sure.
There are groups for that. I think there's one
Yep.
of Indy actually.
There is here in Indiana. There's been a group in Indianapolis they're basically the club's focus is field day each year, and they're out with the big guns. They're out to score the points. Nothing at all wrong with that, but to be quite honest, I used to kind of really get into the idea of doing the high point contests, but this group is so big, and I'm not faulting them because I think recruiting anyone into ham radio is great in any way.
Yeah.
They're going so far as to reach out to like all hams in the region in the whole state to get them to come and run field day. Like our local high school club is going up there, and that's fine. But to me, I'm like, well, I used to put on these big public field day events, with all this rigmarole and stuff back in the 2000s, and they were well attended, and we made pretty good scores. But now I'm discouraged from doing that because I'm like, well, I'm not going to compete with this giant club in Indianapolis. Let's let them do it. And that's fine. So ours has kind of become more of the question mark with our local ham club.
It kind of really has,
but I'm kind of enjoying it. What do you think?
I totally understand the concept that they want to have as an outreach and as a disaster practice and the people who do it strictly for points. Okay, sure. I actually did that back in the 90s. I was pretty hardcore. I mean, I literally slept in my truck at the club site several years and ran all night and that kind of stuff. And at this
I did
point
some
now,
all-nighters myself.
Oh, yeah. At this point now, I'm tired and I like my bed because I can sleep there. And it's one of those things that I go to enjoy it. We go there and we have food. We have, it's just camaraderie and just sitting around and just talking to guys and just, or families and whatnot, and just enjoying the social aspect of it, I guess would be the best way to put it. But I also enjoy making some equipment. So I'd say we're going to at least shoot. We usually shot or did one quick live stream or a short or something like that there last year, I think. So we'll try and actually do another one there this year. I would say we could try and do like a full blown live.
Well, if we'll do a live, we could do a live. I do want to make some content out there because I love content and ham radio content. We need it every Tuesday. So it's a goal we've set for Three Old Tech Dudes. So
welcome to the reality of YouTube. Where I was we need content.
Content. But I want it to be pertinent to the subject, which on Tuesdays, shameless plug, is going to be ham radio. We've it's mostly me because I overanalyze and overthink what I want the channel to be. And
we laugh about that a lot.
I was like, man, Three Old Tech Dudes, let's get on and talk about computer programming and synthesizers and antique radios and just all these things that are multifaceted hobbies the three of us guys have. And then we made three antenna build videos in like 2019 and stood in front of the repeater at our ham club and said, this is what a repeater looks like. And basically became a ham radio channel because those videos took off the best.
That was really funny.
So
I'm just going to make some antennas. I'm just going to build them. Those got a lot of views.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there holding the camera. And we're going, well, this is what a repeater looks like.
Yep. So what I've learned is I was trying too hard. We used to have these really big fancy episodes, and I'm like, those are fine. They're good episodes in my opinion.
I do like, I like still the payphone's my favorite.
Yeah, and we're
Just
going
because
to
it was so
continue
fun.
some of that, but I'm going to respect that ham radio audience for the content we make. So we're not going
Yeah.
to do one video a week. And there's been periods we went without months, unfortunately, and neglected the channel.
Yeah.
Doing better because I figured out something. We're trying too hard sometimes. It just needs to be simple videos like this with a basic subject. And on Tuesdays, you're going to get a ham radio. And on Fridays, you're going to get everything else in the world. So, and some people might watch none of those. Like I did one on replacing flippers on this pinball machine behind me. It has like 17 views, that's fine. I don't care. Somebody's going to need that video someday.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed making it. So,
yeah. And it's like, my new little toy here.
Yeah.
This will show
we'll
up.
see that later. Let me get that full screen. There you go.
There you go. Sorry, I don't have a lot of light on there right now, but
I can see it pretty well.
Yeah.
See, it's an 18,000 micro I read there. Is that a Behringer item?
Little Behringer, Behringer.
So it's coming down the road. But we digress. We're great at that. So
so that'll be coming. And plus I'm rebuilding my music studio. So
that's going to be a cool set of clips and
John,
stuff. Yeah.
Because my son, John, you've seen him on the channel here. He's an
also tech dude.
There's 4 of you. How can that was
right?
That was just hilarious. I'm like, like everyone needs a roadie. Come on.
Right.
But so he moved out yesterday.
So you're saying you have space?
I have space. So that's where the synth room is going to be, and then
there you go.
Downstairs where you've seen us shoot a few times, where it's usually like keyboards on. That's actually going to become pretty much either just ham radio on one side and the other half of the room, because it's actually a long room. Sure. The other half of the room will be 8-bit computers and video stuff from like 80s and stuff like that.
I'm excited.
So yeah,
I can play at Nathan's house even more often. So
yeah, and I was Tim saw that. Well, Tim and Justin both saw this because we were doing it yesterday. But we ran across a lot of extra things.
Yeah. So
we probably should have shot video on that, but it's one of those things that
there was a lot going on. We were helping move some things.
So there was a lot of things removed, but basically we cleaned out an organization that was shutting down, and they're just garage sale prices. So
audio equipment and the like is really something.
So you'll see a bunch of that.
I got this microphone I'm using for the first time. There is a nice Sennheiser microphone, which I'm pretty happy about. So
yeah. Those it sounds good. I like it. I'm on my MacBook Pro right now, so I just
well, it sounds good, but it's a MacBook Pro, so that helps.
That is true.
Audio and AV stuff. Anyway, we digress. We're good at that. We're glad you stick with us. We enjoy just chatting, so you get to come along for the ride as the viewer. So we've touched on contest. We've touched on question mark, which is ours. Ours is more of a fellowship. We get together our field day at like noon and eat. We've set up antennas that morning. We usually do same day setup. We do it at our club site, which we lose some points because of that. If you're keeping track of points, because it's not a public location. It is. Anybody can come out. We even put signs out by the road and stuff.
But it's not like a local park.
Yes, and I've listed it on the ARRL's field day locator as of earlier this week, so people can find it. And then we have, every time I've done that, we've had randoms wander by, so that's cool.
That's cool.
But so what about the outreach piece? How do you feel about that, Nathan? I feel like that was drilled into me by the Elmers ahead of me years ago. We do this to gain people, teach about ham radio and so on and so forth. I don't disagree with that, but it's a great place for a new ham to get hands on stuff. But in this era, I feel like I'm seeing so many more people jump in and they go straight to general on the first test and things like that.
Yeah.
They're just going and buying the radios. They're honestly easier to obtain via the internet today.
Oh, yeah.
So it plays a role if people want to get out there and try new things, but I don't see as many people coming into it via field day, but that's at our event. I'm not speaking for people who are putting on big outreaches. So for us, I don't think it's good for that, but I think for many others, it probably is. What do you think, Nathan?
I think for us in our local club, which is the Hoosier Hills Ham Club, we could do a lot more, and we actually have before. We've had events where field days where we had an entire table set up. We had the go to station, get on the air station, and we had intentionally called I think the mayor at the time was there. We had like the police chief show up or something like that. We had, and of course, we had at the back of the day we had our local emergency management director, who is also him, show up. So we got points for that. But because you actually get points for a lot of that stuff too. But the outreach itself, I mean, the ARRL does actually supply you if you want it with flyers, banners, all this kind of stuff that you can get from them. I want to say it's probably still for free. It used to be either free or really, really cheap. So, but it was like little things that said like, "This is what ham radio is. This is how it works." Da, da, da. And you would typically have someone man that table to just explain to people showing up, "This is what this is," and my wife's texting. Um, they're going to go have ice cream now.
Oh well, there you go. You're missing out because of me.
Yeah,
Ha!
that's okay. They were band practice, so that's fine. But no, I think the thing that we could do better is probably set out a table and have some information literature on what ham radio is. But in this day and age, you got a phone, everyone has Google. So, yeah, which I know that's a cool picture. But, everyone Googles something. That's really, what's ham radio? Put it up,
Right.
But if you really want to see the stuff actually work, you could go to a field day event anywhere generally and see what it actually is. And a lot of people are really shocked when they see modern ham radios. They're thinking these old big, like antennas coming off the, the headphones and, trying to dial in these, these big tube, variable capacity, big vacuum tube variable capacitor, all this, everything's glowing, it's all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, mine's a touchscreen. I do have an older one. Okay, I do have an older one. I'm not the newest guy on the planet. I have a Drake
Sure.
TER3 station, and I got nothing too. Just steal.
That's awesome.
But I have the Yaesu FT991 Alpha, and I'm sorry, it's touchscreen. It's just so much easier. There's USB out; it goes right into this computer or my other computer, and I can do FT8 or anything else with it.
You've got an ICOM IC756 Pro too, as well, don't you?
46 Pro, yeah.
46. Sorry.
Yeah.
Got my ICOM numbers swapped.
The only for a while the difference is the 46, which is hilarious, actually has more bands.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the 56 is HF through 6, I think, only. But It was like color touch screen, all this kind of stuff, whereas this one is not. It's just black and white. But I'm probably going to wind up selling that to my son because he's wanting a better radio.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So outreach is still important.
I think it really is, yeah.
I was going to bring up, I was going to see if I can find the rule box in the field day packet. So many of us for so many years have been setting up with this field day packet.
Yep.
And they still make it. You can go on the website, get it, but it's literally a 40-page PDF. And, years ago we used to print them out, and it has all these little details that talk about setting up a good field day setup.
Yeah, I need to go to station on there.
That reminds me, one of the cool things about field day, a lot of people, I always assume because I've been in the hobby so long that I know a lot of these things, and everyone else does too. But another big thing is if you're like a technician, and you can, what's that?
Go back up a page.
Okay.
Talks about alcohol. That's the first.
Alcohol.
That one page.
Alcohol and towers do not mix. If you drink, don't climb. If you climb, don't drink.
I just saw that and I'm like, what? There's recommending booze or not recommending booze? No. Yeah, you shouldn't drink. Yeah, you don't want to drink.
Goodness. Yeah.
Anyway,
see, there's a lot of information here. Oh, there's the site locator. That's worth everybody knowing. You can go to ARRL.org/field day locator, and you can find
a web page on looks like Windows XP.
Or at least 7. That's the Vista 7 frame. Yeah. I still can't find it, but yeah, they talk about, how to do social media, and you can do press releases. They just, it's pretty good. Here it is. This is what I've been scrolling through here for, guys. So way up on page 32 of the field day packet, you see the actual entry form that you would turn in if you were mailing it. There is an online version of this too that's also covered in this packet. But you put in the field day call used. Ours will be W9GUS. It's our contest call, we call it at the Hoosier Hills Ham Club.
Yeah.
We have 2 club calls. The other one's W9QYQ.
Yeah.
If you have a get on the air
was,
station,
yeah.
what's that?
GUS is after Gus Grissom because
it is.
Yeah.
Apollo 1 astronaut who died unfortunately in 1969 in a fire on the launch pad. So, he was a native of Mitchell, Indiana, near here. So where our club is near here in Lawrence County, Indiana.
Yeah.
But kind of the things you can see here, you can see the bonus points. I think these are worth 100 points each, more or less. You have the emergency power. It's like times how many. So you get 2,000 points for that if you're on full batteries. If you send media publicity and things like that. So if you're a contest person, this is how you really rack up those points.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you can make a lot of QSOs and they add up, but CWs times 2, digitals times 2. There's a lot of actual debate over the digital because FT8 has a field day mode, which we've actually used fairly exclusively in our field days the last 3 years at least. And there isn't a lot of phone contacting going on because you can actually rack up more points by FT8 if you're so inclined.
Phone. I tried phone a little bit last year.
It's wild.
I was like, yeah, that's almost unusable.
Yeah, and FT8's not too much better because everybody's stacked on each other so tightly. It definitely flows outside of the normal frequencies. But as far as the contest side, there's lots of ways to score points. But in the end, a lot of field days are more casual, and there's a lot of ways to go about it. For one thing, there's a lot of people to talk to. And I think I started to say this a moment ago. I got distracted by the field day packet, but technicians who don't have a lot of HF operating privileges, you have CW on a lot of the HF bands.
Voice.
And you have, a couple 100K of 10 meters for voice. And that's fine, but you can get on 40 and 80 and 20 as long as you have at least a general or an extra who is the control operator. So our policy has been to have at least a general or an extra on site at all times at our event. So if somebody is a new ham and does not have HF privileges, you can kind of walk them through how that works and let them drop some CQ field days a few times and see if they grab anybody. Some of my favorite moments have been when somebody does that for the first time. I remember Brandon there in our club grabbing one a couple years ago, and we were like, yeah, when he got it, so and then he threw the mic at me to finish it, the exchange. He got a little nervous, and I get that. So
yeah, I want to say about middle, well, really by about like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, the amount of people thins down a bunch because we'd like sleep, and you can start hearing some different stations come in and get back into them a little bit. So that's pretty cool. So trying to think, I've drawn a total blank on this. Is this just US or is this US and Canada?
US and Canada.
US and Canada. I thought it was both US and Canada. Yeah. It wouldn't shock me in the next 10 years they throw Mexico.
Yeah, the RAC, I think, is their version of the ARRL that also sponsors it the same day. So yeah, it's kind of a North America thing in a lot of ways.
I'm surprised that Mexico's not involved in that, but Mexico, they got a bunch of hams. So I don't think they have.
They do. No, I don't know what they have there. So
don't know what they've got. So anyway, it wouldn't shock me though eventually if it's like all of North America, which would include Mexico.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now it's US and Canada. But it is kind of interesting. I mean, like late at night, you start hearing like you'll get Guam, you'll get so I heard Alaska last year popping in better in the evenings.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It's kind of, I don't know how long I'll last because it's one of those. It's like it's late, and I gotta get up early. Usually.
You were mentioning all nighters, and when in this 2003, 4, 5, I remember staying up all night long, and I didn't have kids yet. I had only been married a couple of years, and I would exhaust myself. I ran that one year, and I was like, I don't know, I kind of burned me out. You got to be careful how much of yourself you throw at a hobby, and that was a good example of that. What we do now, and it's mostly because people we're being casual, so we're not chasing points as hard. We end up in a situation where we pretty well wind it down by say 9-10 p.m. on Saturday night. But we've also been there for 12 hours usually, and that'll be the case this time too. We're gonna throw some antennas up late morning and have some food going out there that our ham club's providing, and a pitch in, and we eat lunch, and then 2:00 p.m. Eastern time, our local time, the radios start up at 1800 UTC. So it's fun, and we just goof around. I'm gonna try to build maybe a 160-meter dipole just because I'm nuts. I don't know if I'll do that. I mean, about the stuff.
Fun. I have cable.
You have enough wire for that? It takes a lot.
Yep.
I haven't measured it yet. I'll put it in the calculator later.
I got
the formula.
About a 3,000 foot run on a small spool of cable yet. So yeah, it's like 22 gauge wire, but it's a lot of it. So. The only problem with low band with 160 is in the summer, 160 is almost unusable because of lightning noise.
Also, only late at night, so I've got to shoot myself in the foot since we mostly do a daytime field day. So we don't get as much action out of 80 and 160. So
yeah, it's. I mean, I could try and go longer this year. It's just next weekend, so
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I guess my new Jeep does have pretty comfortable seats, so I can probably crash on here for a while.
Yeah. So like I was saying, we do it at our clubhouse, and that's a lot of people are like, well, you're losing points. Yeah, we are. Because it's not a public place like a park or a parking lot. That's kind of one of the rules. But we have central air, and we have food, and we have amenities, and we have parking, and we have towers, internet. And we can put up antennas on, and we have internet. Yes, high speed
big towers. Yeah, we got 200 whatever foot tower there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
or 100. How big is the tower? 220.
It's under 200, but just under 198, something like that. Yeah. And then we have a shorter one in the back. I don't know how tall it is.
75.
That's about right. Yeah. So that's what we do. So I guess the answer to our question here that we started out with 2 and ended up with 3. I guess we're fellowship time is our thoughts. So
yeah,
start a fire, work the radios, and visit. So
yeah, we have fun. So you should have fun.
Yeah, and you know, regardless, what's the point? This is what, to me, ham radio is about fun. It's a hobby. So, but
a hobby, exactly. It's a hobby. Are you having fun doing your hobby? No. Okay, you're doing it wrong.
That's right. That's right. I agree.
I've been there. I've done it wrong.
Right.
You could say you're practicing emergency. Yeah, but I mean, if that's fun for you, then do that. But for me, I'm just going to enjoy. I'll probably build 2 or 3 antennas. Looks like 160 meter at least.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'll probably play around with a few other things. I plan on trying to do fast scan amateur television.
I'm excited about that. Actually, trying to make some contacts with that. We're maybe going to sync up with another group. But I'm actually going to learn some slow scan too, which I've never done at Field Day. I have all the setup. So
I did it.
Done that before?
Yeah, it's been a long time. 90s. It was.
I say that I've made 2 QSOs on SSTV in the last couple of years, and that's 2 ever, and I've been here since '98. So
yeah, I did. It was early. Well, no, it was probably mid '90s.
Yeah.
And it was. I can tell you, my monitor was straight VGA resolution, 640 by 480.
Right. Yeah. Classic.
And it was running, I believe, 386, if I recall right. But yeah, I built all that and did that with. That's a couple years ago because I'm pretty sure I used my TS430 for that.
Oh yeah, has been a bit
on HF. And it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So we're going to do 220 as well.
Yeah. You know, there's a 220 contest coming up soon. I don't know. I don't have enough amp power to do it.
Don't think my amp will run at that.
No, it shouldn't. I don't think so. It'd have to be tuned specifically, I think.
Yeah, I've got one for 440, one for 2, but I think the 2 meter ends at like 170.
Sure, yeah, that'd be right. But yeah, so field days, that's good stuff. I've been out cleaning the ham radio club up because it's a little grubby, and I was putting some stuff in storage, and my lip looks funny because I got stung by a wasp in the face. In the face.
Ow!
Look at that! Look at that funny looking lip there. It was a lot worse yesterday. So
Melissa just got punched
Yeah,
it.
yeah. As my wife beat on me.
He just please.
Yeah, we've got this metal shed, and I said to myself that day, I said, I'm going to run by Walmart or someplace and get some wasp killer spray. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
never did because I ended up going out and hanging out with you guys for a while. And then I said, well, I'll run down to the ham club. And I go to put those big Hamfest signs we have, the wooden ones. And I lift that up, and man, I was lifting all three of those stupid things up at once, and it got up near the nest going in that door of the metal shed. And that thing flew down and whacked me right in the face.
Ouch.
It hurt, man.
Break clean, man.
I
Break
made
clean.
some funny
Fire.
noises. So I'll deal with those guys. Come when I head down there Tuesday to check on some things. So in a few minutes. So
do a wasp delete.
Yes, wasp delete. I have to be careful. They're on a wooden beam. I might do a shed delete if I'm not careful.
Maybe no fire, just break clean.
Right. There will be no wasps when I'm done. Well, that's for darn sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's better. Well, first year we were out there doing. First year I was out there doing that. We were going after snakes.
Oh, yuck! That's no fun.
Yeah, we had a 223 toy taking out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That worked pretty well.
Nah, I hate snakes.
Yeah, that's why we.
It's kind of interesting because there's such a precedent. You know, when I joined the Hoosier Hills Ham Club in the late '90s, early 2000s, you know, there was a whole we can't have field day at the clubhouse. We got to use outside facilities to get more points.
Yeah.
And then I go back and do a history study on the Hoosier Hills Ham Club, and they like ran field day out there from like 1968 until the 90s, and I'm like, we need to just do it out there. It's what the facility's for, ham radio.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Yep, it's a pretty good facility. Like I said, we have two really, really big towers, and we string antennas. There's still a G5 RV string.
There is, and I'm going to put up that's just it. We do put up antennas that are portable usually. So we got I've got an infed out there. We're going to put up a 6-meter beam that's your beam that's still out there. I'm going to bring the tripod out again, stick it up in the air. So it's still on the mast actually from last year. But
I might try. I might stick. I may just say, with UHF. UHF with HF. There we go.
Yeah.
Get the letters right. I may just say with HF and stick with VHF and UHF, and just try to do like 2 or 440.
Yeah.
440. Yeah. Well, I can definitely bring a 2-meter beam because I have 4 of them because I've collected so many bits and pieces. Anyway, but I'll bring a 2-meter beam, so 11 element Cushcraft.
And there you go.
I've got that 440 beam, which is, and I have no idea what brand it is, but it's
11 element Cushcraft is pretty substantial.
Yeah, well, it breaks down to 4 pieces. Well, it'll fit in the back of my Jeep.
There you go.
I'm Gladiators. It'll fit. It's got a bed. Yeah.
I have an 11 element. I think it's an 11 element Cushcraft 220 beam. So
nice. So we should try. Let's bring the 220, either yours or my 220. We're actually planning this with you guys right here.
Yeah,
you guys can actually
field day planning.
Join us. You guys show up, you should just laugh at us. Go, oh, this is the junk you're going to bring. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, if you can, you should show up. You really should.
1508 Raritan Hill, Mitchell, Indiana.
Yeah.
Put that in your GPS and be up there. It'll be a good time. So
and the GPS does work there. Yeah. And you can't, honestly, when you drive by it, you can't miss it. It's a huge tower.
It's a thing. So we're pretty proud.
But yeah, we should bring the new 220 radio, or bring yours, or one of them at least. We'll bring my 991 Alpha. So it's got 2 440, 6, 2 and 440 all load. So I'll bring the amateur fast scan television
transceiver. I'll bring mine too, my transceiver.
I'll bring my amp for that.
Yeah.
Because
so we could set up some stuff and try that or something. So that's
a good idea. And then see if we can, hopefully maybe we shoot toward Indy and see if we can. Well, I think we aim toward Indy with the 440 and see, or 440, which is amateur.
Maybe we should put out that we're going to do that.
You mean
like on social media?
On YouTube?
Yeah, well, that there, but also on social media with the other Indiana groups or people within range, and say we're going to do it.
Oh yeah,
lights on ATV fast scan is going to be trickier than slow scan even, but I know we could even do some slow scan 2 meters because I'll bring my 7100 that has 2-meter single sideband and do it that way. So,
well, my 991 Alpha.
Yep, we got that too. So,
my theory is
fun.
Yeah, I think that probably the best way to do it is probably the way we used to do it, where you have a calling frequency for 2-meter, paired with the amateur television, fast scan television.
Mm-hmm.
So you can talk back and forth because they can hear you the whole time because it's
Yep.
going to mic or anything else. I mean, you can just
So like put it on
broadcast video.
14652 and aim it somewhere alongside of your ATV beam setup.
Yeah, so you have like stacked or whatever. So I'll bring my broadcast camera because that's always cool.
Sure.
I literally have like it's huge. It's massive thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
You can talk about your hands. We got to see your hands. There you go.
yeah. I talk with my hands. Anyway, but it's a University of Texas. I think is where I got this thing. But it's a Panasonic WR250B. I think it is with the VHS-C deck or a SVHS deck on it, and it's got a Panasonic lens on the front of me. It's last time you guys are over, every time before last, we're all getting ready to do something. They just picked up. It's like, I want to use this.
Yeah, it's heavy duty for sure. It's crazy.
It's
how
heavy.
it is.
But it has a great picture. It is not particularly good at seeing in dark. So I'll bring one of our studio lights. But I think we should be able to do that though.
Nothing else. I'll take a CRT TV, my thing, and drive down the road somewhere, and we'll do a contact. And that's a contact to me. So
yeah, that's a receiver. All you have is was it cable 58? I think it is. Yeah.
I got 2 or 3 little TVs with that, so it won't be a problem.
Yep. So we can bring a lot of that stuff, and I should see. Gosh, if I had time, didn't think of it. So I have a program. I've got to find it, which I don't know if I can find it fast enough. But it's to generate backgrounds for amateur television on a Commodore 64.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, actually, really useful.
Actually, yeah, because it comes right out like you get SV, so you get YC out because of Commodore 64.
Guess I should bring that Panasonic switcher. That's one I've done with mine because you can actually green screen things out.
Yeah, actually mine has it too. But go ahead and bring yours because yours is better. Yours is the MX7.
Oh, I forgot you have one. You do have one.
I don't. Not as nice.
Yep.
It is Panasonic, but yeah, yours is nice. Yours is MX70, I think it is. But yeah, so if you guys want to see this stuff, this ridiculousness that we're going to do this weekend, and I'm sitting in my living room. Sorry, it's still a nice day outside. It's
beautiful out. Yeah,
it's hotter than all blue blazes pain. I'm afraid to look at next weekend's. I want to say Saturday is going to be in the 90s Fahrenheit. So
right.
I'm not really looking forward to that, but it is what it is. But if you guys want to come out and see us, you definitely should. Right there is the address.
Yep.
And we'll probably have someone monitoring the 146.73 repeater.
Yep.
That's real local.
Yep. PL 107.2. You can hear it counties out. You can hear it off I-65 north of Louisville even and get into it with a mobile.
That thing is easily. Yeah. Because that thing sits on a very
and just south of Indianapolis. So yeah, if you can reach us a long ways out, honestly, further than a lot of other repeaters in the region. So that's awesome.
Yeah. We've spent money putting that tower up, and I was there when we did it. It's tall. I mean, it's a tower you could literally climb up the middle of it if you wanted to.
Sure.
I don't recommend it, but sure. But you guys come out and see us, and we'll be there noon-ish.
Yep. So come out and see us. I guess what is it? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 days from when you see this video is when it's all going down. So we'll be out there Saturday morning. You can just come hang around or watch or heckle, as Nathan likes to say.
Hey, that's my job with the club.
That's right.
So the three of us were on the board, and I decided I was done. So we didn't. So I just said, no, my job this next year is to heckle. So,
oh man.
Of course, my son was crazy. He had to go, I'll be on the board. Like I won't heckle you.
He's got the easy role you have, vice president. Just there and hoping Russ doesn't keel over. So
if Justin doesn't say it,
anyway, I think that pretty well covers it for this episode of our ham radio themed 3 Old Tech Dudes episodes. Hope you guys like and subscribe. Leave your opinion of what you think Field Day is at the bottom in the comments. Is it a contest, outreach, or fellowship time? We may touch on that in a future episode here in a week or two.
Just I will catch up. When we're out there, we'll put out a message on Facebook. So if you're not a part of our Facebook, follow us on Facebook.
Yep, just look up.
We'll put out a message on Facebook. Yeah, because if you're in like California, you're not going to be able to make it to Indiana. So check our Facebook thing, and we'll try and go live. And I'll try and use it. It's 480, so it's standard resolution. But I'll probably pull a stream from the camera,
That's a fun
and
idea.
I'll use my HD camera too, so we switch back and forth because I have multiple switcher things. But we'll go live to that. Maybe try and go live the same time we're doing trying to do amateur television stuff, or maybe
Sure.
as well. So probably 6-ish Eastern
That seems
time.
fair. Yeah, 6 is
I think
Eastern
we could
time.
probably set that up, because if I'm just paying attention to the television, ATV stuff, VHF, UHF, and not caring about HF, then I've got time to set all that up because that doesn't take that long. So, just look for us about 6 to go live, and we'll have as much stuff as we can. We usually can go live pretty well on the internet we have out there. So
Absolutely, yeah.
works.
And that's a good lead in to be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications, because if you do that, when we go live, you'll get a notification right on your phone. So you'll be able to see when we're messing around. And that's another thing I like, is not only the fellowship, I enjoy the experimenting and building we do. I think Justin and I are going to work on our repeater software out there a little bit and see if we can solve some problems with one of our repeaters for an hour at some point or another. So, we just goof off and play with technology, ham radio technology in this case. So,
and I'll try and bring enough leash for some of that stuff to be able to move the camera around a little bit. So, but we should be able to go live. And so make sure you follow us on Facebook, and follow us definitely here on YouTube. Make sure you click like and subscribe. But keep us on Facebook, because we'll put an announcement there. For when we're going live. We'll probably throw one up here too, but it's one of those things where it just
we'll do a short or something. So say, hey, we're doing the thing. So
we'll be live in like an hour, whatever.
Well, hey guys, anything else, Nathan?
I think that's it.
Think you got it? All right. Well, whether you do field day with us or on your own or with the club, or just go visit a site, sometimes people rove around and visit them. Be sure to visit one this weekend at some point or another. So hey, till next time, I'm Timmy.
I'm Nathan.
And Justin's not here, but this is still 3 Old Tech Dudes. Thanks for hanging out with us here on 3 Old Tech Dudes. Please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more tech, old and new, tinkering at the workbench, repairs, ham radio, electronics, computers, and more. Please like this video and share 3OTD with your friends to help us grow the channel. We tweet at 3 Old Tech Dudes 1 on Twitter, and you can keep up with us on Facebook. Just search for 3OTD and look for our logo. Thanks so much for watching.